So this is what you're going to show up when you first go to ads.google.com. Simple address, ads.google.com will take you through to this page. Now, I've already gone and signed in using my Google account, which then brings up a page that looks a little bit like this, creating your first campaign. Now, if you've created previous campaigns under that Google account, so you do need a Google account, you may have found that what you need to do is to choose one of those previous accounts or start a new one. I got about 30 accounts going on at the moment because I do quite a lot of Google ads across the various business types. I just chose add a new account, which you'll get to do if you've done that before. If you haven't started any accounts before with Google Ads, well, then this is the screen you're going to see. So you're going to be asked to give some information about your business. There's also an offer at the top there you can see, which are offering $600 when you spend $600. So it's about a 2-for-1, basically. You get that from signing up, and you've got a bit of time to use that first $600, and then they'll give you a $600 credit so you can go a little bit further. As people will gladly tell you, though, $600 does go very fast on Google Ads sometimes, but we can bring that down a bit. Now, here I've got the add your information to get started, where it's going to actually ask me which business profile am I doing, and this is where your Google account is tied into a Google business profile. In my case, I've got several already set up in there: Training for Purpose, Darwin Business Events, Clickstarter Education, in various locations. I'm going to choose one of those. Let's just say, first up, we'll take Training for Purpose in Darwin. So it's going to preview based upon things I've already put into my Google business profile, including the name, the location, the page for what the page will look like on Google business profiles, and the logo as well. It's got everything such as, whether it's open now, what the numbers are to be calling through to or texting through to. It's got a lot of stuff that already goes in there. You can select a different option though. You can have it go to a specific website that isn't connected through to your Google business account. You can have it go through to your own business phone number if you prefer to take phone orders, or if you've got an app page, perhaps on the App Store or Google Play, you can link through to people to go and download your app from those different app stores, Google Play or the Apple App Store. In my case, I want to point it to this particular business because I've already got material in there that it can take some learning from. So let's go and do that and then click next. Now it's going to look at what Google products are already connected to that business. At the moment, it's got certain information there. It's got the information I've already put in there about the business, which is the description that there is, the specific products or services that I'm going to be possibly training. So it's going corporate training and certification is about right. The website that it links to, the LinkedIn address, which is not correct, so I'd need to change that. Clickstarter's Instagram and Facebook, which I don't want any of those because that's not the business I'm pointing at. So this is just the one. It's just going to go through to trainingforpurpose.com.au, none of the other ones. Those other ones are for a different one of my businesses. So once I've done that and I've selected it, I'm happy with that to be what makes the business unique. Then, and this is where you can tie in, for instance, I'm making unique things using local ingredients, local products, working with local producers. I am doing it in a way that no one else does it. We're delivering specifically for those places. The one thing I do want to change, though, is I want to change the spelling. I hate those Zs that they're using in there, the American spelling. So I'm just going to change that quickly and then go on from there. So it's basically picked all that from my Google business profile. Let's go down, hit next, and go to the next step, which is now loading what goals there would be for advertising on Google for this business. It's going to have things like, more clicks to the website, people using phone calls, coming to a store, or submitting a lead form. Now, I don't know if I really necessarily want store engagements because it's not really a store. I've got a website I wouldn't mind them going to. A lead form, perhaps, that could be interesting, or a phone call lead. I could possibly do the phone call. For me, though, none of those really are what I'm looking for. So what I want to do is really just try and work out what I want out of those three that it's offering me. It's only offering me those three. It's not giving me the chance to go through to a website as one of those. So what I could do is let's go to phone call leads, because I don't mind getting the phone calls. Already picked up my phone number from the Google business profile. Next. Excuse me. And there is options also in there to choose a goal of going to a website as well. So there's just, for some reason, it's not offering me that. I don't know quite why it's not doing that, but it usually would. Then I can look for the themes that I've selected. Also, it's selecting the wrong thing. It's selected territory proud here. So I've got to go back and start all over again because it's actually picked the wrong actual business. So back, 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 back. See, I've got selected training for purpose back again. So we can select the right one because it just did not pick the right one. There, this is a bit buggy of this system that should be not doing this kind of thing. So training for purpose has picked that up. So let's try that again. Your website, great. That's what it got wrong. So I need to change that website to training for purpose. So it's pre-populating some things and being a little buggy today. So trainingforpurpose.com.au. And the business name is Training for Purpose. Great. Okay, so I want them to go to my website. So it's giving me the option now that I've corrected the name of the business. So we go there next. So discard the draft campaign and go into this new one. And it's going to review what's at my website and it's going to bring a bit of information from it. So let's see what it happens to bring across. Hoping it brings together the fact that I'm linked through to trainingforpurpose.com.au. That's correct. It's picked up the incorrect spelling on all these organizations. Let's get rid of that. Corporate training certification is all good. I'm going to get rid of these LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram addresses and just have that one. Let's click next. And then is it going to link through to specific other profiles there are? So it's already connected to my Google business profile, which is fine. The phone number is correct. They can call from those ads if they wish to. And I don't want to link a YouTube channel. I don't have an appropriate YouTube channel for this. I've got my YouTube channel, but that's not a training for purpose YouTube channel. And I don't have a mobile app. So let's go next. Now we're going to go those goals. Now, what it should do now is give me the option a lot more different things. Page views on particular views on my website, brand awareness. So I'm just going to create awareness that I exist. People who come to the store, phone call leads, submitting a lead, purchases. What I probably need to do in this case is page views. I want them to go and look at my training catalog. So let's go to the website and look at where my training catalog page is. So here's the website coming up, trainingforpurpose.com.au. And let's see what pages I can find. So I've just got really slow internet at the moment because I made the mistake of connecting through to our hardline internet, which is not particularly great. So it can take a bit of a while to come up. Gosh, that's not good at all. All right, here we go. Let's unplug that and go straight for the Wi-Fi. That should do a lot better. Pretty bad if my actual website isn't working. It should be though. It was working this morning. So we'll look at those again to run through those. For some of you who are running e-commerce, you might choose purchases, purchasing something from your Shopify site or your WooCommerce site or whatever you're using with that. Lead forms will be if they want to, want people to actually fill out an inquiry. If your sales funnel involves filling out an inquiry and then moving down. Phone call leads, if you want to take phone calls for orders or for inquiries. In my case, I just want to send them through to my website. So I'm just looking again see if this website comes up. Come on, let's go. It's just really playing up today. Let's see if my other website works. And doesn't look like any of them are working at the moment. So something's gone down on my server, which is not ideal. But I do know that that address there, training, is the right address I need to send them through to. So let's go into there and correct that to training. That's the training catalog I want to send them to. And then let's go back down again, hit next. So it's going to go and scan that page. Hopefully it comes up for them because it's not coming up for me right now. And it's suggesting these performance max campaigns. What it's looking for is what themes. Now, this is where you used to enter in things such as keywords, but what it's doing now is getting you to enter themes, the themes you want people to look for. So what I'm looking for is not-for-profit training, for purpose, organization training, Darwin training, Darwin corporate training, digital skills training, It could be another one as well. You're gonna have under 50 of these. So what we're gonna do is keep putting them in the kind of things we want to be found for. The reason why we don't put keywords anymore is because they can be a little bit too specific and they can be a little bit too limiting. Whereas people don't necessarily search for what you think they're going to search for. In this case, Darwin corporate training, not-for-profit training, for purpose organization training, digital skills training, charity training. I can put in there. Charity training. I just deleted my previous one. Digital skills training, AI training. Put that in there. So we're going to review all these. I'm going to look at the locations. It's automatically sort of gone into the areas I'm looking at. So the Wagga Shire, Palmerston Municipality, Lovemuller, Litchfield, they're all pretty good. Larrakia, Darwin Municipality, Darwin, Bellewen. Probably not going to get much in Bellewen, so I might just drop that out. And Wagga, it's not really much out there either. But what I can put in there is Katherine in the Northern Territory, because I do want to be able to do some training there. So Katherine. Let's also add in Alice Springs, because I can go there too. Done. And then I can probably enter in Tennant Creek as well. And why not even Nhulunbuy, Go to Nhulunbuy. There you go, unincorporated Nhulunbuy area. So now we'll get those different areas. So it shows me roughly the population of those areas. So you got 46,000 there, 35 there, 102 there, 147 across just Darwin City. So that's given us, a bit, that's like the whole of Darwin, including Palmerston. So it's given us a pretty good rundown of the kind of people we want to. Now you can also search by a postcode in there. So you can go 0821 and you can see down eventually you'll find 0821 showing somewhere in Australia, or you can go, 0820, which then you might have to type in something like Walner, and there it'll come up 0820 includes Walner. You can also exclude. That's one thing you can do. If you do not want this showing up at all for certain localities and postcodes, you can exclude them as well. For now, though, we're just going to include those areas and move on. You can also do languages. It might be, if you're trying to reach a particular community, say the Hindi speaking or Malayali speaking communities, or perhaps the Vietnamese speaking community, you can have things in there. Just bear in mind, though, that those communities also tend to search in English as well when they're looking for things. So it may not be that smart going for something outside of English necessarily, because you may have to have different campaigns for different language groups. But for now, let's just do English. And we can click next to move on to the next thing. So what's it going to do next? Well, it's going to pick up that information, hopefully from my actual website was down. So let me just try and refresh that and let that sort of pick up again, because it looks like the server is down. It's now picking up information from our website based upon what I'm trying to do. So online training courses, IT training and certification. I've got to review all these as headlines for the ads that are going to appear over here and see what actually is appropriate for me. I'm not doing IT training and certification. I'm doing digital training and certification, but not necessarily like registered training organization kind of training. Training for not-for-profits, corporate training programs, interactive in-person training, training for purpose, for purpose organizations, custom training for your team, get ongoing training support, digital marketing training, get certified and upskill. I don't do certification, so I may want to change that one so I can get upskilled for work. Improve public speaking. Yeah, we do that as part of it. Build a better future. I'm not really doing that. So let's change that maybe to build a smarter team. That one I can change to something a bit more appropriate for what I'm doing. Unlock your team's potential. Yeah. AI tools and automation. Yeah. I'm going to add in for NFP. People who are in not-for-profits know what that means. Boost your team's impact. Online, I'm going to add in there, not quite, your team impact online. There we go. And I can see more suggestions as well. So I can pick out more that it's going to suggest for me here. Don't really need that. I'm pretty happy with what I'm getting there. I've got then the longer headlines. So these are the bits. So in this over here on the right, where you're seeing the how it's going to look like, this is the longer description where it says upskill your not-for-profit team with digital marketing. So that's one of those. So that's where you can add a whole bunch of those different things. And there's descriptions down the bottom here as well. So the longer headline we can have for the first one, bear in mind, it's going to mix all these together. So what you might find is some things are repeating each other, which is not necessarily a bad thing because the things that people react to aren't necessarily the things that you assume they're going to react to. So let's pop down, look at our descriptions. So equip your not-for-profit with digital marketing AI skills. Yep, that looks good. Boost your organization's impact with our comprehensive training. I'm going to get rid of certification because I'm not providing that. Empower your team with skills for success. Yep. Enhance your operations, achieve your mission, partner with us for ongoing, I'm going to go ongoing upskills or upskilling. Upskill your team for not-for-profit team with digital marketing, AI tools, and governance. Great, that's perfect. Now we can start adding in some images. So it's picked up some images which are mine. That is generated. That is one that was mine, but they've now enhanced it. So I'm going to select that one. This one I don't need. This one definitely don't need. Maybe not that one. This one maybe. This one's probably good. Not necessarily. Some of these generated AI ones are terrible. So I can pick out some other images that are a part of what it's brought in from the website. So that one's a good one there. That's one of mine. It's not showing a photo of my one of my staff members. Oh yeah, so Juliana's there, so she's in there. So I've actually got some which are not generated as well. You've got Juliana in there. So it's got 15 out of 20 images it's going to use for the ads. So I'm going to use that. Now, this is where the images are not showing on Google so much, but they're showing up in other places. You don't always see the image come up on Google. You may see it sometimes, just not as often. So don't worry if you're not seeing that. It's not fine. You now got to show a logo. So I'm going to show a logo. I'm going to upload my logo. Let's see if it's actually got it in there. I can actually go find it on Canva and download it. So let me go to Canva, grab my logo and download that as well. My brand settings, under my click starter settings, under logos, I can then go in and have a look. Here we have TFP, Train for Purpose. So I'm going to download that one. It needs to be a square one. So I need to create a square logo. So if I'm going to create something new, say create a square one is going to be custom size 1800 by 1800, which I've already done before. Let's chuck the logo in there from the brand, logos, and this one here. So that's going to fit into that area. What I might want to do is perhaps put some color around that so it looks a bit more vivid. So red or yellow or maybe that color or the purple. Purple is probably a bit more bright. So I'm going to do that one. And then what I'm going to do is chuck a square in the middle. This is just a little bit of design stuff I'm doing here. This could be very different for what you want to do for your business. So let me just put that around here, stretch it down so it forms a square around the primary part, put a white background on it, send it to the back, and there we go. So I've got a nice little, presentation of my logo, TFP logo. And I'm going to save that down, download as a PNG file. You can save it as a PNG or a JPEG, doesn't really matter what you do it as. I'm going to go back into my campaign now and load up my logo, upload from my computer, TFP logo, up it comes. And as it loads and then renders, I can then click save to save that in, and it will show that as part of my campaign as well. There we go. So we've got it. Let's save. So it's now got a logo in there. I can load in more than one as well. Business name is correct. Video, I don't have any video, so I'm not going to do one. It can create one automatically. I don't really mind if it does or doesn't. Then I can link through to the different places on my website. So site links. So I can go. A call to action is an automated one, but I can go learn more as a call to action. And the site links then can be one. Let's go to training catalog. We've got a training catalog here. And I can go, this is a stupid thing though. There it is, it's finally working. Okay, training catalog is under /training when it decides to work. Still clunking along. So I'll put that one in, put in here, go, description line is see our full range of training, and say not-for-profit specialized courses. And the final URL is then that one. So that's going through there. See how it's forming these little links below there? That's providing easy places for people to go to that they can sort of click through. So it's showing you that what it's going to look like on a mobile, what it's going to look like on desktop. So they're pretty good because they generally take people to different places on your website. So my website is timing out again. What I can do is go to our capability statement, which would probably be a good thing to go to. So I'm going to put a link through to the capability statement on site link 2. So capability statement, and then description line, go to the final URL, it's going to be there. And then I'm going to go description line can be see what we're capable of. Understand our scope. And then site link 3, we can pick another link on the website. So let's go training workshops. So we can say, see our workshop list. So it should be /workshops if it chooses to work. So go to workshops. See our public workshops. Most workshops are free. There's a little statement there. Let's see if that's going to finally come up. So I'm just going to go, it comes up as /workshop. So I'll just do this again. It's just not playing nicely with all my pages. So workshops, and I can do a 4th site link. I'll do one more and then we'll move on because we can't just keep doing the same thing. I can do research tools. So maybe some handy tools. So I'll just do tools, handy tools, learn faster with our tools, handy tools to work better, and then have a final URL of /tools. That'll do me. 4 of those is fine. So we can see now what that looks like. There you go. So it's giving you a few more. The more things you've got to click on those ads, the more chance someone's got to have the click through to something on your website. I don't need to sign anymore. I'm going to go create. And it's now going to create that ad. It's given me the links through to where I'm going, capability, handy tools, training catalog, workshop. So what it will do, it'll sort of move those around in different order according to what the appropriateness is for the person who's searching for you at the time. It's giving me an optimization score down here. So what it's saying is I'm doing everything right. 97 out of 100. I'm doing pretty well. So I didn't add videos, but it can generate videos. So we can look at this generate videos and see what it does for us. Use videos using a template, use it from the images. So I'm just going to create videos from images. And it's got a few scenes in here it's already picked up. The video length is 10 seconds. So let's have a look at see what it actually does. It's going to use Gemini, Google's Gemini, what do they call it? The 5 seconds is long enough. Their VO3 is what I'm trying to look for. So it's doing a quick little preview of what this video might look like. So let's have a look what it does. What it does generally is animates between the images that it's included in there. I generate some video clips. I do. And also makes me want to generate some images. So it needs me to generate images as well, because it said avoid the following children or specific individuals. So that's problem is it's pointing at what is a picture of individuals. Those individuals aren't true. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to skip all this video stuff because I don't really need it right now, because I'm not going to be really advertising too much on YouTube. I don't really want to advertise on YouTube just now. Call to action is learn more. Let's go next. There's so many bits and pieces you can do in here. We don't want to do everything. We just don't want to do enough to get us onto something. Now I'm going to bid for the ads to show. So what my bid strategy comes then from whether I want to bid for conversions or the value of a conversion. So as it says here in the little helper text, conversions, there we go, the actions on your website. Let me come across more so you can read it, that you define. So it could be a click, it could be an add to cart, something like that. You define that. The conversion value then is the value that you associate with the actions taken. So you can say add to cart is about a $50 likely buy if they're buying something worth $50, or it could be completing an action. It could be just clicking through the website, which I would say is probably for me, every click is worth about $50, considering they could be paying thousands of dollars for what they're doing with me. So I'm going to just go conversions, and I'm going to set a target cost per action. So if it is maybe a conversion, excuse me, I set a conversion and then the target cost per action. Let's just say it's going to be about $5. So just putting that in there, that I'm going to think that when someone takes that action, I'm willing to pay up to $5 for that action to be taken. I'm obviously going to put a bit of a cap on this campaign because you can spend a heck of a lot of money on it before it gets really carried away. So what it's saying, it's suggesting that I spend about $26.58 per day, which would give me about 37 clicks through at $5 each, is about $186 a week. So that to me is a bit high. I'm going to go down a little lower because remember, we're talking about Darwin here, so I'm not going all over the world. What I'm going to do is set my custom budget for the whole campaign at the moment to be much lower than that. So it's saying 26.58. I only want to pay $10 per day. So what's going to do is calculate that and say, oh, you're looking at about 22, about $3.07 and a $70 weekly cost. That to me sounds a little bit better. It saying that basically fixing your limited budget could help you get more on the busiest days. That's okay. I don't want to be overrun with responses. I just want to get a few here and there, not all of them. So I'm going to go next. I'm not going to accept their optimization. I'm just saying, just give me $10 a day over a month. That's about $300. I can probably absorb that. And if I spend $600 by the 2nd of August, then I get another $600 to be able to spend with them. So I've got my Visa card lined up. I've got my organization that's going to be, I'm going to see a $20 authorization on the card, which I hope I've put enough money on the card, and it'll start to do that. So do I want personalized guide from an account strategist? I'm going to say no, because they're full of crap. They come and tell you a whole bunch of optimizations to do, which basically are optimized for them to make more money out of you, not for you to make more success out of what you're doing. Tips and promo offers, yeah, why not? I'll get that. And does my campaign have European Union political ads? No, absolutely not. Let's submit, and it's going to now put this whole campaign together into review status. So Google's going to review it to see if I'm doing anything naughty. It's going to try and do my $20 hold on my credit card just to say I'm doing it and see where it goes from there. So it's now doing it. Here it goes. It's going to say it's now done that. And now it's like, okay, there's some more things you can do. Congratulations, you've now done that. Still loading it up. Here's some resources you can do. You can go and go and get some more information on an app. The tag has permanently lost if you use this tag. This is the tag I can put into my website. So it's actually telling me that it's already installed on the site. So it's already got it. So if I use this tag, I've got settings that will be lost on there. So if I continue using settings for this, it'll override it. That's because I've already got a Google Analytics tag in my site. So it can read my site just fine. So let's use the one that's already in there. It's not letting me do that. So it wants to install it manually. So what I can do, I can pick that up and chuck that in my website into where it is. At the moment, the website is not even coming through with the right things. It's actually breaking at every opportunity. So that's something to do with my hosting. But that means I can do this. So I've just copied that. I'm going to paste that over into a note software somewhere so I can copy that in properly again later on. Let me just paste that over here. And then I'm going to go test the installation. That's going to test to see whether that's in there. Now, as we saw, I can't test that right now because the website's not even bloody working. So I'm just going to go, let's just use the one that's in the site rather than trying to use others or use a CMS with a website builder, use a different Google tag. I'm happy with the one that's in there. So I just want to stick with the one that's already in there. It just doesn't seem to want to do it for me. It just never even, there's always a bug with this. It's just not letting me do it. So I'll just try and install a different one. Okay, it's install manually, put in that tag. I'll just go off into another browser window and just install that. As I'll talk you through it. Now, what I'm thinking in here is that a lot of people come into Google Ads going, how much do I need to spend? What is the spend I need to have? And the reality is the spend is whatever's appropriate for you to do. But think in terms of it if you're advertising locally within a region market, let's say Darwin, Townsville, Cairns, Broome, Busselton, Bunbury, any of those kind of areas, you're starting to look at very small audiences of people rather than big audiences of people. And when you do have those smaller audiences of people, you've got to take into account that you don't need to be spending a huge amount on those things because there's not a huge amount of people to reach. In fact, the more you try to reach more people, it's just trying to repeatedly reach those same people over and over. And you don't want to do that, right? Because that's all that's going to do is cause you to perhaps, be, annoying people with your ads more than anything. Now, this is not like Facebook ads, where, for example, you're going to be in front of them all the time. This is Google ads. People are searching for things that are specifically related to the thing you're advertising. That's the only time they're ever going to see those ads. They're not coming up in front of them forcefully on a feed. It's just when they search on Google. So that's what you're going to bear in mind, is that the intention of people who are on Google ads is much greater than the intention that's on people who are, say, for instance, going to try and who are just going through and scrolling endlessly through Instagram. They're not really intending to buy anything. It's not doing it at the moment, so I'm just going to email the instructions through to my email, and I'll do it later. So it's just not reading that website at the moment, so I'll just do it later. So now it's saying, okay, now finally I can improve my conversion measurement by turning on enhanced conversions. That's fine. I don't really care, and I'll set up my Google tag later. So now it's going through. It's going to review my campaign and tell me what it's going to happen. So it's going to skip through all these things. I don't need to do any of that because I've already set up campaign number one over here, which is $10 a day. You'll see in here. And it's telling me down here how much I've used and giving me an idea of how much I'm away from my free $600 of credit. So at the moment, it hasn't got anything verified. It's not delivering that campaign because it has it in review. That said, though, it looks like it's already reviewed it. It's already starting to deliver because it's already active. It's already enabled. So what I would do after this goes live, I might want to go and check on these. There's going to be some things in here where you can set up your conversions. So I can set up the measurements that I want to convert. So it's still missing that tag. So it's not allowing me to do much until it can read the website, which strangely enough is being blocked at the moment. So that's not a good example. But you can go and add in that stuff, fix the tag, and then define what things are happening on your website that you consider to be conversions. Is it just landing on the site? Is it putting something in a cart? That's where you'll define all those things. I'm going to skip that for now because I really just need to basically go into the website. And then I can do things like doing some keyword research. You probably heard that tool before. Keyword research is over here on the left under tools, and you can go into the planning and then the keyword planner. And in the keyword planner, this is a really clever place to go in, research how much search volume there is in your chosen market for the kind of thing you want to sell. So if I'm going to put in there corporate training as a keyword, I can load up tons of different things. So corporate training, I can do NFP training, AI training, digital skills training, get started. And now what it's going to do is going to go pretty much Australia wide with that. So I need to change that from Australia here. See what it says Australia? Change that to just the market I want to test in, which is Darwin in Northern Territory. Well, actually, let's look at the whole of the Northern Territory because that's essentially where I'm advertising to. Northern Territory, Australia, 192,000. Get rid of Australia, just have the NT, save. And now what's going to give me is, for these different keywords, the kind of idea of how many people. So I've got air training there, so I need to take that one out because it's actually wrong. So let me just go and look at those saved keywords again and remove some of those words. So I don't need that word in there at all. Keyword ideas. It also gives me some ideas on the keywords I could do. So back on the keywords I've already saved, let's just say, look at the corporate training. So monthly in the Northern Territory, there's between 10 and 100 searches for corporate training, digital skills training, but NFP training is less than 10 searches per month, 10 searches all up. That's not changed much in the last 3 months. It's reduced in the year on year. So between this year and last year, it's gone down by 100%. Like, it's really crashed. It's gone up a lot when it comes to digital skills training. There's been a very big increase and no change when it comes to not-for-profit training because there's no searches for it, basically. In digital skills training, the competition on ads is very high. The rest of them don't really have any competition. It's not showing any. And it's give me an idea on them how much I could possibly bid for in terms of like per click, per action, all that. Remember how I was looking at $5 per action before and it ended up being about $3.20 or something? That's where it'll tell you what the target is in order to be at the top of those ad at the ad brackets or down lower in the ads and more likely to show or less likely to show. So in this case, I'm not really advertising against much. If those searches come up, I will be charged. If I don't come up, I won't be charged. So there's a very good chance I won't even spend my whole $10 a day. I'm more likely to spend a couple of dollars a day at most. And then one day I might get a lot of training requests come through because of some change to legislation or some end of financial year rush to get training done. And then I might get a bit more. So that is now looking at, okay, that I could plan around. I could add those words into my campaign. And I can actually create a campaign up here with this blue button that's going to create a campaign based around those keywords. So that's the basics of Google Ads. There's so much more you can go into. There's a lot of depth in there. I sort of need to get my bloody website showing before anything else will happen so I can fix these campaign issues and measure those ads. But for all intents and purposes, that ad campaign is now running. So they haven't had to do any payments yet. We'll see a little bit later on when that's running. You can use the Ask Advisor tool up here to ask some questions of Google Ads to be able to get some, very AI-led advice on what you're doing with your Google Ads. But other than that, that is the basis of how it works. Now, the easier way to do it is through your Google Business Profile. That's for another time when we'll set all this up. But if you want to get a bit more granular and a bit more in control of the kind of things you're doing on Google Ads, that's the way you'll do it. You'll do it through the actual ads.google.com. Get yourself set up in there, put a credit card against it, and start working all that out. I'm Dante. Have a great week, and I hope to see you in the next one of these.